Good evening everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome to our flight from London to Johannesburg on the British Airways Airbus A380. This one is going to be a lovely 10-hour 30 service across Africa in our beloved and probably best freeware aircraft of all times out there. Join me in the cockpit as we are getting ready to prepare our A380 for service. We're gonna start turning the batteries on, and with the external power next.
Runway awareness, okay. Meters.
Okay, so power is available. Let's give it a short while to start powering up. In the meantime, we are using a new mod today, which is from flightsim.to to get the onboard information system working. And this one basically is a mirror of the standard electronic flight bag here. And, well, in my opinion, definitely a must-have mod for the fly-by-wire Airbus A380 at the time being. Of course, I will link it down in the video description below. But for the time being, let's go ahead and start preparing our aircraft for flight. So we've got our power now on. Let's go ahead and turn on all the lights over here as well, so that we can see properly inside our aircraft. Now, next up, we are going to do the lights test up here. Looking good, and then the ADRs, 1, 2, and 3, and last but not least the APU master switch on and the starter switch on. Let's also go ahead and turn the lights on already so that our colleague can start the walk around. So while all of that is ongoing, we can do a recall over here, and there's nothing in the recall it seems. We do have sufficient oxygen on board, we do have sufficient hydraulic quantity on board. The engine oil, unfortunately at this point, is still not simulated, so we'll have to skip over that one. Flap lever is up, spoilers are retracted, and both of those do reflect on the primary flight display and the indications as well. So A380-800 with the Trent engines on board, and that's looking good. Then we can go to the init page and start our company flight plan request. And while that is ongoing in the background, let's go ahead and have a look at our flight plan over here. I did import it already. Let's just re-import to be on the safe side over here, and then we can have a look. So, London to Johannesburg, Speedbird 57 kilo is going to be the call sign, British Airways 57 is the flight number. Planned takeoff weight 500 tons today. We're probably going to end up even above that. But let's go ahead and start by having a look at the significant weather charts and at our route. As you can see, more or less a straight line across Africa all the way down to Johannesburg. In terms of the weather, we do have a little bit of weather on the African coastline down here, crossing a jet stream, and then we've got the intertropical conversion zone that we're crossing, and pretty much weather all the way from about halfway in the flight down to Johannesburg. So it's probably going to be a rather bumpy flight today, especially considering that those CBs go all the way up to flight level 500. Now, if we have a look into the actual airport weather conditions, we can already see that we are greeted by a lot of SIGMETs from Johannesburg, Gaborone, Algiers, Brazzaville, Luanda, and Windhoek. So it's really one of those evenings today. First of all though, Heathrow is greeting us with good weather conditions, westerly, southwesterly winds, and our destination is currently showing good weather as well. However, a couple of thunderstorms every now and then throughout the course of the night and tomorrow from afternoon on as well. Our arrival time should be fine though. For this reason, I am kind of fine to accept that we are going to be in good weather conditions when we are arriving in Johannesburg. But let's go ahead and have a look at our alternates before we decide on the fuel. So Gaborone is our primary alternate. They show thunderstorms over today's evening, but tomorrow they have a few CBs, but apart from that the weather is generally good. And the same goes for the other alternates in the area, which are not as good, unfortunately. Okay, in any case, fuel en route alternate N'Djamena, I believe. No, Brazzaville. Or is it? I don't know. One of those. Weather, well, light thunderstorms today, but those should already be over. And apart from that, yeah, becoming thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, but during the course of our flight, few CBs as well. Overall, not too shabby. So let's go ahead and have a look at our fuel then. And today we are going to take 139.4 minimum takeoff fuel plus 1.3 taxi. Added up, that's 140.7. Well, I tend to say if we take 15 minutes extra, just in case we need to avoid some larger build-ups en route, which can really happen rather often, then 15 minutes extra is round about 3,000 kilos, so 144 tons should be fine. Okay, so we can take the payload as it is, and then we can go for our fuel, and we are going to take 144. And here we are. Alright, so that should be good. So we are about 4 tons heavier. If we have a look at all our weights, the landing weight is getting somewhat close, but still within all reasonable limits. Apart from that, we are using a performance figure of 95% today with a Mach 0.85 cruise, which is typical for the A380. And, well, apart from that, I'm expecting a rather nice flight today. So let's go ahead and do a couple of preliminary calculations over here. We'll first of all do the takeoff calculation over in SimBrief. So let's go takeoff performance, and we will be somewhat heavier. Also, I am going to shorten that runway down by 200 meters, just in case. And our takeoff weight is then going to be 504 tons. Okay, the rest here is looking good. Calculate. Giving us a stop margin of 220 meter, 51 degrees flex. Rather high takeoff speeds. Let's see if we can do a config 2 takeoff and get something better. Well, kinda. In any case, I am going to go with config 2 over here. So 55 degrees assumed temperature for this one. And our runway limit is 560 tons, which is the maximum takeoff weight of our aircraft today. Alright then, perfect. So, let's go ahead and clear those away. We know that we can go. That's the important thing. So, Maxit 1 Foxtrot departure. Let's go ahead and collect a couple of charts down here. So, do we have any dedicated A380 charts? Yes, we do. Taxi A380. Here we go. That's the important one. And note that we can't use Alpha up here. We got to use Bravo. Oh, ATC will love me if I tell them that. But in any case, that's what it is. So, Maxit 1 Foxtrot sit, that's over here. And we can grab that. Can we? Oh, chart not loading. There it is. Alright, I don't mind, we have it here, that's all I need. Great, so let's go ahead then and start with our actual pre-flight procedures. Oh, a little bit lag. It's rather busy recording this on a Sunday evening here on VATSIM, so a little bit of lags are to be expected. Okay, refueling is complete, so let's go ahead and turn on all those fuel pumps. Here we go. Onto the main panel, let's see what our current weather conditions are again. And that's QNH of 1029. Here we go. Alright, Squawk 2000, that's good, and we are listening to the interphone, and the rest is set. Okay, so on to our FMS setup. Company flight plan received, insert. Speedbird 57 Kilo, Heathrow to Johannesburg, alternate Fox Bravo Sierra Kilo, level 350 initially is good. So, average wind component is a tailwind of 6 knots, not too bad. So, the IRSs are aligning on the GPS position, perfect. So, departure, runway. They are using 27 right for the departures at the moment, and we've got the Maxit 1 Foxtrot down here. So, down to the temporary, and then for our arrivals, they say 03 right. Even though I believe it could be 3 left as well. Let's go ahead and have a quick look into the arrival charts here. So, destination and airport. Well, let's start with the A380 chart. Maybe we can see runway restrictions straight away. Okay, well, 3 right actually doesn't look too shabby. Or 3 left. Honestly, both of them work. I'm gonna plan 3 right as per Simri for the time being, and we might still change that in the air. So, 3 right, and it is going to be an ILS approach. I do believe Zulu over there. For the star, we've got the Avago 1 Charlie arrival planned. So, Avago 1 Charlie, and we don't need any vias. Okay, temporary flight plan, insert. Now let's go ahead and have a look at what we just created. Give me my constraints, please. So, max of 1 Foxtrot departure. Let's see that. So, it's on the runway track, intercept radial 255, outbound till 5 dm London. So, we do have runway track, intercept 255 until 5 dm from London. Then a left turn 161 outbound to 7 dm between 3 and 6,000. So we got plus 3,000 in here. Then we continue to 9.3 dm above 4,000 and below 6,000. And then we have 12 dm London and then a right turn 191 inbound to Maxiv, which we have in here, and that's at 6,000. Perfect. I believe the initial climb, well, it's got to be 6,000 then. And that's it for the time being. We can fix the rest in flight if there is anything to fix. Okay, so nav 8. Then we do need the London VOR for this one, and thereafter we also need Midhurst VOR. So it's gonna be Lima Oscar November. Yep, that first one. And number 2, Mike India Delta. And that's also that one. Very good. Do we need any courses for this? Well, 255. We can't tune any ADF, so 255 on the left and 191 on the right. Course is 255 and 191. So that is looking good. Then let's continue with our fuel and load. So 0 fuel 360.9. So, the CG is unknown for the time being. The block fuel 144 tons. Taxi fuel 1.2. Let's see about the alternate and the reserves. So, alternate 6.4, reserves 4.8. Then we have 6.4. and 4.8. Alright, looking good. So then, onto the takeoff performance, and we said that we are using a shift of 200 meters, in case we do get any intersections. So, flex temperature is 55, and I am just going to recalculate this off screen here with PAX off takeoff, then it's flaps 2 and 56 degrees flex. So, flex 56. And flaps 2. Okay, takeoff speeds 139, 152, 158. Here we go, and that is with the PAX off. Okay, thrust reduction 1100 and acceleration 1100. Transition 6000 is correct, engine out acceleration 1500 above the ground is also good, and for the climb I do believe we can just... well, green dot is 229, no, we don't need to pre-select anything here. I'm totally happy with it, as it is. Okay. So, initially up to 6000, constraints, airports, and the VORs, QNH 1029, flight director is on, can do the same on the other end side. Here we go, and I think with that we are good to go. So I do suppose I have no idea how the departure delays are today, so before we start with the briefing and stuff like that, let's actually go ahead and call for our clearance. So there is no delivery yet for the time, so we got to call ground 121705.
IFR Miami.
Seabird 5 Echo, Heathrow ground, cleared to Miami. Compton 3 Foxtrot departure, squawk 3407.
Clear Miami, Compton 3 Foxtrot departure, squawk 3407, Speedbird 5 Echo.
Speedbird 5 Echo, correct.
Heathrow ground, good evening, Speedbird 57 Kilo, Super Information Hotel, A380 800, QNH 1029, I request clearance to Johannesburg.
2 stations locked.
Lufthansa 350, stamp 537 with information hotel on board, requesting clearance to...
and here starts the all-time busy game on Watson again. But well, we'll play the game.
1460.
But no, correction. Lufthansa 350.
You can do it.
Could you please write that?
Oh god, just do it by text anyway. Heathrow ground, good evening, Speedbird 57 Kilo, Information Hotel, A380 QNH 1029, I request clearance to Johannesburg. Come on, if you ask for a clearance via text, just use it via text.
1460, QNH 1029.
And Lufthansa 250, correct?
Heathrow ground, Speedbird 57 Kilo, request clearance. Yes, no, maybe?
Speedbird 576 request push and start at gate 233.
Apparently no.
Speedbird 576 hold position. There is a KLM Boeing 737 pushing back from Asus stand. Hold position.
Hold position, Speedbird 576.
Ground, good evening, Speedbird 57 Kilo, clearance to Johannesburg.
2 stations locked. Break flight Speedbird 9053 Lima, Heathrow.
9053 Lima.
Speedbird 9053 Lima.
Okay, they have a delivery now, 121980. Just came online this moment, and I have a feeling I know why that is. Heathrow delivery, good evening, Speedbird 57 Kilo Super, Information Hotel, A380 QNH 1029, request clearance to Johannesburg. Delivery, Speedbird 57 Kilo, do you read? This is so incredibly frustrating. Delivery, Speedbird 57 Kilo, do you read? Heathrow delivery, Speedbird 57 Kilo, do you read? This is incredible. Why did I make the mistake and want to fly in VATSIM? Why don't I just do it offline? Heathrow delivery, Speedbird 57 Kilo, do you read?
Speed 57 Kilo, Heathrow delivery.
Here we go.
Good evening, I'm just checking in with previous controller. Are you ready for clearance?
Wonderful, we are ready. QNH 1029, Information Hotel.
Speed 57 Kilo, cleared to Johannesburg. It's the Max F1 Foxtrot departure, squawk 7014.
Max F1 Foxtrot departure, squawk 7014, Speedbird 57 Kilo.
Speed 57 Kilo, correct.
Okay, 7014, here we go. Okay, with that we should be pretty much ready for our pushback, so let's go ahead and do our departure briefing. And then we can already call for startup. Yep, it is definitely laggy here in Heathrow Online. It's incredible how much performance the VATSIM client takes. Offline I'm getting, even offline with full AI traffic, I'm getting rather not so, or rather brilliant frames over here. Once I log on to VATSIM, it's A lot worse. Okay, anyway, departure briefing. So, it's gonna be Heathrow, 27 right, via the Max F1 Foxtrot departure, climbing 6,000, MSA 2,100, and we have 4,000 kilos of extra fuel, giving us about 15 minutes. I don't see hotspots for the taxi. Stop margin for the takeoff is around 200 meters, and the engine outsits straight at 25 miles. Pick up the hold in 3,000. We can come back if we need to, but we are above the max landing weight, so anything that needs to go really fast, we read the overweight landing checklist. Anything else, we do consider a fuel dumping if we have the time, or an overweight landing as applicable. Alright, nothing special, nothing non-standard. Any threats? No? Beautiful, so that's our briefing completed. Speedbird 57 kilo, request startup.
Speedbird 57 kilo, contact ground 121.705, goodbye.
121.705, Speedbird 57 kilo, bye bye. Okay, 121.705, the transponder is on.
9203, correct.
And our clearance, Max F1 Foxtrot, 6,000. That's all good. So, 118.505 is gonna be next. Oh god, that Lufthansa is already annoying me by interrupting everyone. He's already annoying me. Okay, so, cockpit preparation checklist. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity. We have 144 tons on board and balanced. Barrel reference QNH 1029R. Cockpit preparation checklist complete.
KLM 538 requesting to taxi to...
So, that much is looking that good, then let's prepare for pushback and departure.
KLM 538 taxi, second right, Alpha, hold, Pluto.
By the way, one for you guys. You tell me if you want me... You tell me if you want me to keep doing these flights in VATSIM, or if you prefer me to do the easy way and do it offline.
Taxi via...
To avoid troubles like we just had them again over here.
Go.
Okay, ground from flight deck. Go ahead. So, please confirm all doors and hatches are closed, the ground equipment is removed and the bypass pin is installed.
KLM 538.
Roger, stand by.
KLM 538, taxi second right.
So, GSX is preparing, very good. Then let's say hello to our passengers. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. From the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of British Airways, I would like to welcome you aboard our flight 572 Johannesburg. The flight time today around 10.5 hours, and we do expect a smooth flight for the first half. Thereafter, we might expect a couple of bumps as we are crossing through the equator and flying southbound in Africa. Nonetheless, once we get to Johannesburg, we're expecting good summerly conditions, so for the time being, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. If there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew.
Taxi right, Foxtrot, right, Bravo, hold, Titan.
Okay, so let's do the... Let's do the performance now.
FedEx 15, report stand number.
Zero fuel weight is 360.9 with 32.8 on the CG. So 32.8, 144, the rest is looking good. And this is all good. Okay, takeoff performance. THS is 40.3. Looking good. And I think with that we are ready to go.
Please check the text as when texted you. Taxi second right, Alpha, hold, Pluto. Thank you.
Copy, taxi via Alpha and hold short at Pluto.
Right, good evening again. Speedbird 57 kilos, stand 555, request pushback.
Speedbird 57 kilo. Say stand number again.
Stand 555, Speedbird 57 kilo, super.
Speedbird 57 kilo, stand 555, push and start approved, face north.
Stand 555, push and start approved, face north, Speedbird 57 kilo.
From 749, request taxi to runway 2.
Okay, B4 start, checklist. Park and brake, set, takeoff speeds and thrust, V1 139, VR 152, V2 158, flex 56. Okay, before start checklist complete.
580.
Ground from flight deck.
Ready
Go ahead.
for push and
So,
start
push approved, face north, park and brake is
249.
set.
Patron 749, taxing to Bravo, holding Titan. Thank you.
Okay, the park and brake is released, you're clear to start the pushback.
580. Yeah, please confirm your current position.
He seems a little bit... I don't know.
Speedbird, the
This may be a little bit too much for the controller.
Lufthansa 250, I'm having issues. Could I just please disconnect and
Yes, please, please,
recon
please
and,
do it.
Then like get same clearance.
Lufthansa 250, Roger. Affirm.
Heathrow Ground Air Canada 117.
That Lufthansa just kept talking over everyone.
Air Canada 117.
So, I'm rather happy he disconnected.
Kilo, stand 2190.
Okay, so, ground flight, starting engines 1, 2, 3, 4 in that sequence, and we're beginning with 1 and 2 now.
Contact tower 118.505. Bye.
Okay, so,
Speedbird, the 576.
we're out and moving.
KLM 538, contact tower 118.505. Bye.
So, we have the tower frequency pre-selected
Can you
already.
repeat that, please?
FM, contact tower 118.505. Bye.
Contact 118.505. Copy that. KLM.
Okay, so next up we probably need the taxi chart, so let's go ahead and get that out already.
Flight 505 American.
And please give me the night version, that's a little bit nicer for the eyes.
576 for the American Airlines Boeing 777.
Will you please give me the night version?
Right. Taxi right, Bravo. hold
Apparently not
tight.
so. What is it that nothing works today?
Ready to taxi.
So, taxi chart?
I just
Nice.
gave your taxi
Awesome.
instruction just now. I say again, for the American Airlines Boeing 777, passes left to right. Taxi
Okay,
right,
so we have
Bravo,
two good
hold
starts,
tight.
starting numbers 3 and 4. Okay, the pushback is complete, set the brakes please.
Heathrow Ground FedEx 15 ready to
And
taxi.
the brakes are set.
Good. Just wait for the transmission to get over. Breakfast bird 576, did you copy?
Nope, he does not copy.
Speedbird 576 after the passing 777 taxi on Bravo to
Okay, so
Titan.
engines number 3 and 4 are starting up.
Speedbird 5 Echo Stand 563, TNX 1029, request push to start.
Speedbird 5 Echo, stand 563, push and start approved, face north.
Push to start approved, face north, Speedbird 5 Echo.
Okay, we have 4 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the sign on the right, please. With the pin, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Emirates 70 Mike, Heathrow ground, taxi, Bravo, stand
So,
303.
can we see him down there already? Removing the tuck just now, then it's gonna take a short while until they are ready. Okay, that's 4 good starts.
Airbus A380, currently located at gate 564 with information hotel, QNH 1029er requesting departure clearance to Boston International.
Speedbird 21, questions about 212 Lima. AFM, stand by just 1 minute.
Okay, after start checklist. I think we should have the ramp agent down there somewhere now. Yep, there he is, holding a pin in the hands. Wonderful. So after start checklist, anti-ice off, after start checklist complete. Speedbird 57 Kilo Super, request taxi.
About 57 Kilo. Taxi right, Bravo, hold Titan.
Right on Bravo, hold Titan, Speedbird 57 Kilo Super. Okay, so we turn right on a Bravo and then all the way to Titan, which is over here. Okay.
Speedbird 715 Tango. Heathrow
Lights
ground,
coming
stand
on. Brakes off.
by. Lufthansa 250, Heathrow.
Turn those lights down. And the pedestal floodlight as well. Perfect, so off we go.
Lufthansa 250, confirm you are where you're going.
Brake check. Pressure 0.
Asia line 203, stand by hold position. Stuttgart 212 Lima, contact delivery 121.980. Bye.
Okay, we'll taxi straight ahead, then the first taxiway to the right on to Bravo, and on Bravo we can do the entire rest.
See you later.
Okay, here for ground. Hello. Spirit 20, stand 525, ready for push.
Stuttgart 8 kilo. I can say stand number again.
525, and we are at Spirit 28 kilo.
Okay, so Bravo is coming up. We're clear on both sides.
I don't think you have receptor clearance.
We have clearance. We just received it from delivery.
It's about 28 kilos at the set squawk 2251.
2251, we'll set the time.
So 10 knots for the turn, that should be just about fine.
Tower 118.505, bye-bye.
Contact tower.
Then gotta keep a careful eye on anyone else taxiing around, but looks like the left is clear, and the right is also clear. Wonderful.
Heathrow ground, are you on frequency?
Lufthansa 250, yes.
Lufthansa 250, confirm where you're going. You appear to be on the opposite track. You're on taxiway Alpha. Just hold position for now.
Roger, I'm calling back in 5 minutes.
Negative, you cannot do that. You're blocking the taxiway. You either disconnect or just be ready for taxi.
It's a ground, Steve, 912 Mike is ready for taxi.
That Lufthansa once again.
Left Alpha, hold Pluto.
No further comments on him, huh?
Report 715 Tango, the taxiway Alpha is currently blocked. You can have taxi right Delta stand 56.
Okay, so, I don't have any changes to the takeoff briefing, so let's just do the procedure straight away.
Report 715 Tango, Heathrow. Yes, Report 715 Tango, taxiway Alpha is currently blocked. So taxi right Delta stand 567.
So Alpha is currently blocked. In other words, that guy really left. Incredible.
28 kilo.
Heathrow on a Sunday evening. Sometimes I wonder why I'm getting myself into these things.
Asia line 0203, taxi straight ahead.
Okay. Let me just hope that this guy here is AI.
Stand 526, push and start approved, face is.
Remove, please. Okay, it was AI. Sometimes I'm really wondering, whenever I'm flying on VATSIM with FS traffic installed, I do press the remove traffic button just after I start my simulator, but for some reason it keeps regenerating those aircraft. I really don't know why that is, but that is a rather annoying little bug.
Yeah, just saying that you're currently blocking an active taxiway Alpha.
Okay, so taxi checklist. Flight controls are actually to go. So flight control check.
250, I got the shorts. I
Full
just
up.
turned the left, but
Full down.
I know where to
Neutral.
go now.
Full left.
Second.
Full right.
I know where to go.
Neutral.
I got the shorts. I made a mistake. I turned
Okay, so
left,
flight
but
controls checked.
I
Flap setting.
fixed it.
Conf 2. Radar on. Taxi checklist complete.
Lufthansa 250, could I continue my taxi?
If I'm Lufthansa 250, taxi left Bravo, hold Titan.
Taxi Bravo holding Titan.
From 749, request further taxi instructions, runway 27 right.
F1749, you have been already given right Bravo, hold Titan.
Okay, a lot of people being sent to Titan. I just hope that we are going to be the number one.
Asia Line 203 after the British Airways Airbus 380 passes left to right. Continue taxi.
Okay, that's the guy over there. I just had my eyes on him, but he's just got an instruction to taxi behind us. That's a good thing already.
Steward 57 kilo, contact tower 118.505. Bye.
118.505, Speedbird 57 kilo. Good job. Someone's got to say it, huh?
You're requesting Alpha to Manchester. Shuttle 3, go.
28 kilo, taxi left, Alpha, hold.
Heathrow Tower, good evening. Speedbird 57 kilo super, taxiing to Titan, ready for departure.
Speedbird 57 kilo, Heathrow Tower, hello, after Titan. Taxi link 21, link 23, hold Alpha 1.
After Titan, link to 1, link to 3, hold Alpha 1, Speedbird 57 kilo. Okay, so link to 1 is straight, all the way straight, to the end, and then to the left to Alpha 1. For a full-length departure.
Very good evening, Speedbird 912 Mike on Alpha to hold short Pluto.
Okay, so that's got to be over there, to the right, to the left, and then at the end to the runway. So takeoff shift 0 as we're going full length now. And then we're approaching the turn, so let's already start losing some speed over here. 10 knots for this one, that's for sure. That's a rather steep turn. And there's Titan over there. And link to 1 on that sign over there. Okay, let's go through that turn. To the right, and then to the left again.
Last station calling, second the call sign please.
Okay.
Lince 0203 Heathrow Tower, hello, taxi link 21, link 22, hold
Come on, you can do a night version as well. Here we go, looking good. Okay, so link 23 is the one going straight at. We can see that nicely on the OANS over here as well. Straight at, left, link 23, Alpha 1, and hold shot over there. So someone just got takeoff clearance, hopefully that means we can line up thereafter. But of course, there is a good chance that he is taking someone from behind us in front.
57 kilo behind departing company, A320, via Alpha 1, line up 27 right behind.
Speedbird 57 kilo behind the company from Alpha 1, sorry, from Alpha 3, line up 27 right behind. So that's this gentleman. So he just pulled that A320 ahead of us because the weight turbulence separation behind the A380 would be rather significant. For that reason, I'm not surprised that he gave someone else a shortcut there in front of us. That's normal stuff that you need to expect when you're flying the A380. Nonetheless, TCAS on. That's 27 right via Alpha 1. Come on, 320, start your roll. Here we go, they are rolling.
326, taxi, second right, Bravo. Second right, Bravo, 326.
Okay, perfect. Lineup checklist, please. Takeoff runway.
Surface wind 220 degrees at 5.
27 right, full length.
7 right.
Checked.
326, contact Heathrow ground 121.705. Bye-bye. 11705.
Okay, so takeoff runway, 27 right, full length. Cabin crew advised. Packs 1 and 2 off. Lineup checklist complete. Alright, the gentleman ahead is airborne. Time for us.
Quebec 912,
On runway
contact London
27
Control
right.
134.125, bye-bye.
134.125, so good evening, Speedbird 912 Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, 134125 is pre-selected. So, he's on the turn. He's probably flying the same departure. I guess that's the reason why they give us a little bit of delay over here.
Sensor 0203 behind departing British Airways A380 via Alpha 2, line up 27 routes behind.
We have the traffic line up.
Speedbird 57 kilo, surface wind 230 degrees at 527 right, cleared for takeoff.
Speedbird 57 kilo, runway 27 right, cleared for takeoff.
Tower Easy 45 Alpha, on ILS 27 left.
Easy 45
Take
Alpha,
off.
Heathrow Tower, hello, continue approach 27 left.
Manflex 56, SS runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set.
20 seconds left, Bravo.
Second left Bravo, it's Beaver 6.
Easy 45 Alpha, surface wind 230 degrees at 527.
Clear to land, Easy 45 Alpha.
V1.
749, holding point Titan.
Rotate.
F1 749 Heathrow Tower, hello, taxi left Alpha, hold Alpha 3.
Positive climb. Gear up.
Taxing Alpha, then holding
Nav.
Alpha.
Check.
Thank you.
5 Alpha 250 holding point Titan.
This answer 250 Heathrow
Autopilot
Tower,
1.
taxi left Alpha, hold Alpha 3.
Taxi left Alpha holding Alpha.
Okay, so far so good.
Emirates 4 Charlie Kilo, Heathrow Tower, hello, continue approach 27 left, traffic coming, number 1.
Thrust climb, climb, auto thrust. Flaps 1. Speed checked.
Quebec 57
Flaps
Kilo,
1.
contact London Control 134.125.
134.125, Speedbird 57 kilo, bye bye. London Control, good evening, Speedbird 57 kilo, super 2300, climbing 6000.
Speedbird 57 kilo,
Flap
London
0.
Control, hello, climb
Speed
flight
check.
level 17, let's take a look, hold up, climb flight level 170.
Speedbird 57 kilo, climbing Throttle 170, confirm unrestricted.
Speedbird 57 kilo, A firm.
Roger.
And EC38 on Charlie, climb flight level 250.
Okay, open climb, 17,000 blue. Checked.
EC38 German Charlie, contact Paris 128.105, climb.
Alright.
EC23 Kilo Charlie, London Control.
EC23 Kilo Charlie.
EC23 Kilo Charlie, London Control, hello, climb...
I just love that night lighting in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It looks so incredibly good.
Flight level 150, EC23 Kilo Charlie.
Speedbird 57 kilo, turn left heading 150.
Speedbird 57 kilo, left heading 150.
Speedbird 733 Charlie, descent flight level 80.
Descent flight level 80, Charlie.
Speedbird 576, now further ATC available, monitor Unicom
Heading.
122.8, bye-bye.
Contact monitor Unicom 122.8, Speedbird 5.
So, welcome to the UK, radar vectors along the green line.
And,
That's done now.
Within 7...
Standard cross check, passing flight level 62. Now, checked. Beautiful look at the moon up there.
Within 72 Bravo Mail, please climb flight level 230.
Climb 230, within 70 bucks.
Can I add top of my sequence for the climb?
Okay, so climbing a little bit quick over here. Let's reduce the thrust manually again. We can see the climb limit up here is 86%, so let's set 86% manually then. We get the lever climb
And,
blinking up here with that, but
you're not in my airspace, you can
keeps me
continue
happy
to shoot that.
because now we do a much more realistic rate of climb over here with just about 3,000 feet a minute, which is quite a bit better already than what we had previously.
Still now 1-2 Mike, London Patrol, hello, maintain 6,000, I'll call you back.
So let's see how his radar vectoring is gonna go. Passing 10,000. I'll keep the signs for the time being, and everything here is set the way it's supposed to be.
Mike November, India, I put your whole position after departure runway 21, liquid to...
Okay, and we will do 320 knots up here. Gotta make it a decent speed. So, if we can maintain this heading for a while, it's quite a good shortcut.
2 on good takeoff, Mike, thanks for help.
I think we can release our guests as well now. Seatbelts off. Okay, clear and copy.
What's that price? 105.
So, VORs are gone, and we don't have fixed page, we don't have secondaries simulated at the moment, unfortunately, so I'm happy with what we have now. So the reason I'm going for 320 knots here rather than the managed 290 is that you get a much nicer deck angle here with around 60. Oh, TCAS, I have control. Yeah, that should not be a problem. But this is the reason for the radar vector then. Traffic going through right behind us. But yeah, he's no factor. He's going through right behind us. So not a problem.
Speedbird 57 kilo route direct Benbow.
Speedbird 57 kilo direct Benbow. Yep, indeed, he vectored us around the traffic.
Climb flight level 250.
Speedbird 57 kilo, climb flight level 250.
Speedbird down 12 Mike,
okay, flight level 1. Nav flight level 250 blue. Climb. I am impressed. This is the kind of vectoring. Minimum distance, 3 miles to the aircraft, and he gave us the vector 3 minutes ago. That's the kind of stuff you normally only see in real life. Seeing the virtual air traffic controller do this, man, this is impressive. This is really, really impressive. Alright then. So, I tend to say we're up and on the way. You can see with the reduced thrust setting we are getting a much better climb rate here. I think 2,600 feet a minute is rather decent. Now we just gotta make a decision here on how high we actually want to go. So this one says optimum 370, but I really think that the fly-by-wire gives altitudes that are a little bit too high. So if we take a look into our flight plan, we can see they want us in 350, and that is for quite a while. They only want us to climb much later when we're in Africa already. So I think if we just keep it according to the flight plan, then we are probably flying a little bit more realistic than if we are following the FMS down here. Alright then, well, I tend to say, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight, and if there is anything important, then I'm gonna let you know about it. But for the time being, just enjoy the lovely views outside, and then I see you all a little bit later, as we are getting closer to our destination airport. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful sunrise and the wonderful landscape here in Africa. We're about 70 miles from our top of descent and we can slowly start to prepare for our approach into Joburg. So let's go ahead and start with a couple of the basics over here, in that we are going to have a look at our into our standard arrival route. So we're planned by the Avago 1 Charlie, and I do think that that is the likely outcome of our approach anyway. So let's go ahead and have a look. Avago 1 Charlie, let's pin that. And we can go back to the daylight charts now. It's not night any longer. So from Avago we are basically flying ourselves into a 10-mile base over here, and then onto the final approach. 03 right is going to remain our landing runway, and the ILS Zulu is okay for our arrival. So let's go ahead and start to work on our approach itself. Now we could also go for one of these. I think the X-ray approach does look quite good as well. And last but not least, there's also the ILS Whiskey, which as you can see is quite similar. So we gotta decide on one of them, and I think it's going to be the ILS Whiskey indeed, so that we have a little bit of an RNAV base for our approach. So let's quickly go ahead and reprogram the new arrival. So flight plan, runway 3 right, ILS Whiskey approach. We remain on the Avago 1 Charlie arrival, Tempe and insert. Now let's go ahead and have a look into the plan mode to see what that thing looks like in action. So I think if we do it like this, we can actually see the star chart over here. Makes our life a little bit easier. So Avago 1 Charlie is from Avago, 250 knots. That's quite slow. We'll probably ignore that restriction, I can say that much. Towards Johannesburg 033. So Avago, then we have 035 as the turning point, max 210 above 8,000 feet, and from there we proceed to waypoint 036 above 8,000 feet. That one says level 185 in here, sorry 145, which is about 8,000 feet above the airport, which is situated at 5,500 feet. From there onto the downwind to waypoint 037 above 8,000 feet, and then onto a downwind vectors with an eventual radar vectoring towards the final approach. The approach itself, ILS Whiskey 3 right, we briefly talked about it already. Starts out at 10.9 DME in 9,000 feet, so that's got to be the CO point down here, and we have a 3-degree glide path, and if we check it on the FMS, we have a 3-degree glide path down there as well. Now for the missed approach, straight out to 7.3 miles Juliet November India, which is the ILS if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it is. And then a right and turn 130. So we've got JSB 7. And then a right hand turn, crossing radial 027, which is the one we have down here. Turn right onto 180 degrees to intercept 210 inbound to Heidelberg. Well, 210, okay. They say onto a vector over here, but that's pretty much close to a Heidelberg, isn't it? Oh, on the textual version it even says 030 inbound for radar vectors, ILS runway 03 right. Okay, that looks okay and acceptable to me, so I'm happy to go with that. Now let's go for the next part, which is going to be our performance. So for the descent, 8.4, but I will probably go for 300 knots. Then let's see about the approach and the latest weather. So we're looking at a wind of 180 at 10, which is a slight tailwind on 3 right, but that's fine. Few clouds, 2300 broken, 2800 broken, 3700, so chances are we're not gonna see much. 16 degrees, QNH 1020. There we go, 1020 set once, and set twice. Good. So then, the wind is 180 at... was it 10 knots? I think it was. Yep, 180 at 10, which is 8 knots of tailwind. Not the best, but it's a very long runway, so nothing to worry about. Temperature 16, QNH 1020. Okay, let's see. The minimum is gonna be category Charlie aircraft 5710. Okay, transition level 90, config full for sure. 140 knots. Then let's go ahead and run a couple of calculations here. So, airport select, Joburg, display. Might take a little while here to get that up. And here we go. So, our landing runway is 03 right. 3,400 meters available. And we got a taxi all the way to the end anyway, as we are parking over here. So, probably gonna vacate right at the end via hotel. Unless we can make Romeo... Is that Romeo Sierra? Yeah. 1900? No, I'm not gonna do that. Let's take hotel. Can't we reselect this? Interesting. Okay, well, I do want to change that. Let's try that one more time. Or can we only do it by selecting and deselecting BTV? Or maybe if we select a different runway? Let's try that one more time. 03 right. Looks like we can't select hotel at all. Well, that's okay. In that case, the runway is long enough. We'll leave the auto brake off. Our ground speed is going to be rather high anyway, close to 160 knots, so let's simply keep BTV off and make sure that we don't overuse our brakes today. Alright, let's go ahead and start our descent already. Down flight level 200 for now. And with that, our seatbelts can come on. We are going to remain on selected speed, 0.85. And that's looking good. So in case of missed approach, MSA 7,800, we're climbing to 8,000. Well, so we are going to do the engine out acceleration in 8,000. That is perfectly fine for me. So transition altitude 8,000, level by ATC, so gotta be 090 with the current weather data. And I think that's all we need. Okay. So, last but not least, let's take a quick look down here. Landing weight 351.6. No, that can't be. Our zero fuel weight is higher than that. Let's say 376 tons. I think that should be more than fine. Okay, so 376, and we can go ahead and enter that in the landing calculator over on SimBrief. Brakes full, 3 right, and the tailwind is in, very good. Reverser credit, yes. VRF additive 5. Brake setting. Let's take the lowest available. Calculate. So, factor distance margin 25 meters, easy going. So that's what we are going to do. Okay. So it is auto brake low then. The only question is, do we want to keep the auto brakes completely off and just use the reversers and then manual braking? I think that's probably the easier thing for our brake usage. So let's select the auto brake off completely. I think that's the easiest solution. Okay then. I think with that we have thought about the basics. Can turn those lights off down here as well. So it converted onto 307 knots, that's fine for me. Well, and then I'd say we can go ahead with our approach briefing, please. And first of all, let's see, temperature -2, engine anti-ice on, please. Okay, let's go ahead with the briefing. Why is the thrust lever in MCT? This is better. Oh, that's interesting. Compare the two FMAs. On the left side we have lever idle with lever MCT flashing. On the right we don't. And apparently it's shut down an engine. Because why not? Or rather, the engine is stuck in idle. I'm just wondering why. It's definitely on down here. This is interesting. Okay. Well, let's deal with that before we deal with anything else. I tend to say, let's go idle. Auto thrust off. Look at that, the engine is not reacting at all. It continues to run, obviously. Okay, auto thrust on. If we look at the engine page, well, N2 and N3 are very, very low. So is the fuel flow, but there is fuel flow. I have no idea what this is. The engine seems to run very, very close at idle. Generator is also showing fault, but we don't have any ECAM messages. I'm trying to see if there is anything wrong with any configuration or any button, but it doesn't look like it. Well, this may at least explain why the airplane flew Mach point 83 in the cruise instead of 85 as commanded. But this is really strange. We should at least get an ECAM. We do the recall? Nothing. Look at that, the fuel flow is coming up. It's just that we don't get any indications for the engine. Really weird. Really, really weird. Look at that, even if I select Toga, the other engines are coming up, which shouldn't happen. Okay, don't ask me what's going on there. Okay, well, this one flashes lever MCT, which is an indication for an engine failure. But if you select lever MCT here, then the remaining 3 engines are running up, even though thrust idle is commanded. We've got to put them back into the climb notch. Can we see anything from the outside? Running like the others. Very weird behavior. Okay. This explains something. So apparently it's pumped the fuel from the right-hand side onto the left-hand side. Fuel used for engine 4 is also rather low. Okay, well. Is there anything wrong with our fuel configuration? They're all on. Obviously in the real world you're not supposed to do this. But it looks like the cross feeds have been open anyway already. But let's see if the engine comes back. It does look like it, right? And one is increasing. Look at that! Number 4 is coming back. But no ECAM message, nothing. That was really, really interesting. Okay. Let's keep an eye on this. And let's just see if I can turn off the cross feeds for number 2 and 3 over here. Yes, I can. Okay. We've got to keep an eye on the fuel quantity in the tank for engine number 1. Just in case there is a fuel leak on the right-hand side. Really weird behavior. Okay, let's continue the descent here. Down to level 100. I think there's got to be a bug involved somewhere, but don't ask me where exactly. Okay, well. Just turning on the cross feed is of course not the fine way of doing this, but since the ECAM didn't trigger anything, I thought like, well, then we might do some experiments as well. Okay, in any case, I think we gotta start the approach briefing, otherwise things are not exactly going to work out over here. And we have a speed restriction of 210 knots over here. Let's go managed. Oh, interesting line drawing. We'll keep an eye on it. Okay, so temperature is 13 now, engine anti-ice off. Okay, then let's go ahead with the briefing, please. Okay, thanks. So, MSA 7,800 feet. We are already almost on the downwind here for the ILS Whiskey approach runway 03 right. Minimums 5,710, and for the go around straight at right hand turn, climbing 8,000 feet. Extra fuel? Well, we have 14.8 now, and the minimum was somewhat lower than that. Let's see for a moment. Fuel and load, minimum 11.3. So we have around 15 minutes of extra fuel here. Okay, thank you very much. So, the approach will be guided by the flight director for a manually flown ILS with manual thrusts. Config full, stock margin about 25 meters. Reversers will be used to the maximum extent, and auto brakes will remain off. By the way, let's go on an open descent here so that we can actually lose that airspeed. Okay, so auto brake will remain off. We'll vacate the runway at the very end, and for the taxi in, one hotspot is the runway crossing that we are going to do, so have a good eye outside for any possible traffic. I don't see any specials. In terms of non-standard, we have our engine number 4 with the open cross feed valve. Now that shouldn't really affect any of our flight. Now, just to point it out, over here we've got a fuel used of 34,100. And if we go to the engine page, or was it the fuel page? Yep, the fuel page. Over here, it tells us 27,000. I'm not exactly sure what's happening there, or why it's happening. But I kind of trust these values here a little bit more. Remember, we had only Mach 0.83, even though we commanded something higher in flight. So I think that there is definitely something wrong somewhere. In any case, it shouldn't have an effect on our flight right now. The engine number 4 is running again. And we have... well, at least we couldn't detect any sign of a fuel leak at this point. And if we check this out, total fuel used 136.4. Well, that is much greater than the fuel on board. So these things don't add up. But if we take the fuel page, 129.3 plus 14.7, then indeed we end up exactly with the fuel that we loaded. So according to this, we don't have a fuel leak. According to this, we do have a fuel leak. Kind of strange stuff. But in any case, it's running now. We keep an eye on the number 1 tank, just to be sure that we don't actually lose any fuel right now and don't do the mistake that the Air Transat flight did on the A330. Okay, do you see any threats for the arrival? Well, I suppose the unknown fuel situation is a bit of a threat there. But in any case, the weather here in Joburg seems to be rather good, so for the time being, I think we can live with what we have at the moment. Apart from that, no threats, no. Okay, wonderful. In that case, let's descend 9,000, set QNH. QNH 1020 cross-check, passing 15,700 now. And then let's go on to heading select. We'll also go selected speed, flaps 1. Speed check, flaps 1. And then let's take some speed brake in order to get down. Okay, so turn left heading 130. Here we go. Alright. Approach checklist, please. Barrel ref, QNH 1020, minimums. Barrel 5,710. Auto brake, off. Approach checklist completed. Okay, give me a direct to the code 3. Yep, here we go. Please, and then back to heading onto 130 degrees, please. And that's our flight plan sequenced. Alright, so the glide slope is alive. 22 knots of tailwind here. Gotta keep that into consideration. Remember, we are doing high altitude operations here. If you just look down at the ECAM, okay, now it's just removed the eyesight deviation from view. But we are definitely operating in a rather high temperature environment here, even though it's just 16 degrees at the ground. So we must keep that energy under control. Okay, so turn left, heading 060, cleared ILS approach, runway 03 right. Gonna maintain 210 knots for the time being. Speed All Star, Cat 3, dual autopilot 1 and 2, glide slope localizer blue. So spoilers coming back in. Okay, manage speed, and please activate that approach phase for me. Speed. Still doing 270 knots, 14 miles out. Most definitely time we change that. But I think with the current deceleration rate and the approaching glide slope over there, I think we are doing rather well. Still 230 knots, flaps 2. Speed checked. Flaps 2. Lock. So down to 210 knots. And I think that's the best we're gonna get. Glide slope star. Go around altitude 8000 set. Glide slope. Alright, so I think we are going to configure per standard. Well, we'll keep an eye on the ground speed, but if we continue to configure at 2500 on the radio altimeter, that should be rather alright, I think. Well, in that case, let's do a little bit of manual flight here. Cat 1. Oh, runway in sight. Okay, gear down. Flaps 3. Speed check, flap 3. Flaps full. Speed check, flaps full. So, 170 knots ground speed, tailwind included. The wind is going to turn a little bit to the left, actually. So, a couple of showers on the 12 o'clock in the missed approach sector. Gotta keep that one in mind. And then let's do the landing checklist, please. Eco memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete. $160 knots over the ground, that's fine. I do like the wind though. If it stays like this for the landing, then I'm very happy with it. Checked.
Approaching 03 right.
Checked. Land.
100 above.
Checked.
Minimum.
Continue.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10, $5.
Okay, reverse green, decel.
remaining. 1,200 remaining.
Manual brakes. 70 knots.
Remaining. 600 remaining.
Okay, looking very good. At the very first, when the radio altimeter started to count down, I was like, oh, this is gonna be positive. But ultimately, I think we made a very smooth touchdown there. Even though we just about arrested the descent rate at around 5 feet, but hey, that's totally fine. You could definitely...
0 meters remaining.
Yeah, I do sign that. Even though you could most definitely feel how the high altitude environment here had its effect. The airplane really reacted even less than it would have done normally. So this was close to messing it up, but we made it. Okay, let's go ahead and taxi up onto that, well, it's not really a bridge, but onto that taxiway. I love it how you can actually read a bank angle on the ADI there as we're going around this turn. Alright, here we go. Ooh, getting a tad fast right now. 30 should have been the maximum. Here we go. Gotta love taxiways like this. This is just looking so cool. Okay, so straight ahead, then we're going to cross the parallel runway and then on to the gates. So, taxi chart, let's see, airport, 747 restrictions, and most importantly A380 restrictions. So, straight ahead, crossing, then on to the left on hotel, and then we're parking over here on Apron Echo. So, parking stance, Apron Echo. Up here on Echo 6 is where we are going to park. Let's see if GSX knows about that. Echo 6, and this one is definitely not unsuitable, because the real aircraft has parked exactly there. Alright, so just gotta get it into the gate, and maybe we can already leave a little feedback about the flight as we're taxiing already. I do hope that you all enjoyed this one. Do let me know if you'd like me to feature destinations like this more often, or if you prefer me to go into the big US airports or the big UAE airports.
Approaching 2, 1, right.
And clear across. In any case, be sure to leave your feedback below the video, as it does most certainly help out. Now, over there is going to be our gate. We have already found that. Very good. So, runway crossing is complete. Strobe line's going back to auto. Let's slow it down. 10 knots for the turn. And here we go. Operating in high altitude environments like this, you've got to be even more careful with your energy. If you run out of energy and you accidentally stop the aircraft, then you better have a plan to get it moving again, and that plan better does not involve using too much thrust. That is not gonna end well. I can tell you that much. In any case, what we do need to say is thank you very much to AnyBuilds for creating airports like this. Africa has for a very, very long time been a black hole in flight simulation, so I'm really happy to see that developers are creating high-end sceneries for African places. And it's not only Joburg that we have, it's also Cape Town, it's Windhoek, it's Nairobi. A lot of African places. I think Africa has never been represented that well in flight simulation at any time before, so really happy to see that Africa is getting some love, enabling us to fly routes like this. Especially that scenic part of the flight after the sunrise, I really enjoyed that one. At night you don't see all that much over Africa. We call it Black Africa for a reason in aviation, and that has absolutely nothing to do with any kind of racism, just to mention it, because I am 100% sure someone will go mad about that term. But we simply call it like that because there's just barely anything on the continent, so when you fly over it at night, it's completely black. Okay. So, turning onto the gate, very nice to see, by the way, that we do have the center line available here in GSX, which is not the case at many other airports. Think Munich, for example, where 2 of the A380 gates are missing from GSX. And that's me throwing their mouse away. Congratulations to myself. So, the marshaller is inside. I can probably move myself forward a little bit already. I have a feeling we are going to park rather far into the gate. Yep, and I'm definitely right about that one. Okay, thanks. I have it. I'm gonna stay right over here. Well then. APU bleed coming on, and park and brake is set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Alright, and here we are. So, the engines are running down. Beacon is coming off, ground power is available already, excellent. And the slides are disarmed. Wonderful, so GSX, you can start the deboarding please. And then all we gotta do is this, and now let's go ahead and do the parking checklist, please. So, park and brake our trucks. That's the brake set, and wing light is off. Alright, parking checklist complete. So, thank you very much everyone, I do hope that you enjoyed this one. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video, and as always, if you did like it, be sure to leave a like in YouTube as well, as it does really help out the channel. If you're up for more, I'd appreciate to see you as a new subscriber to the channel. And finally, if you really love what I'm doing over here and want to support me, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all again on the next one.